Courtroom. Joining me now is Mike Davis, founder and president of the Article 3 Project. He also clerked for Justice Gorsuch, and Sean Duffy, Fox News contributor and co-host of Fox Business, The Bottom Line. Sean, I was in court today, and I still have one outstanding question. No one has indicated that Donald Trump directed anyone to file the bookkeeping in a way where it would be criminal, or that he even had a conversation. And in fact, they broke it down to invoice, vouchers, checks generated. Michael Cohen gives the invoice. The vouchers are prepared consistent with Michael Cohen's invoice, and the checks are generated based on the invoices. So where's Trump orchestrating a crime?
So where is the crime, right? And so we're all focused on the jury. How does the jury interpret these summations? And if you're the jury, you're like, we've spent 4.5, 5 weeks in court with a trial against a former president, and this is all you've got? This is it? And then you're going to spend 5, 6 hours in summation, and you're pulling at all these strings trying to confuse us. But when you break it down to the law and the facts, to your point, Judge, they don't have it.
Well, and the amazing part of this, Mike Davis, is that there were 9 points that Todd Blanche laid out for the defense, saying, and every one of them was very clear and in the end, that Michael Cohen is the embodiment of reasonable doubt. He is the gloat, the greatest liar of all times. And what I thought was effective was when they said, Todd Blanche said, Michael Cohen didn't just lie to Congress and to judges and to his wife and the bank and everybody else. He lied to you after he swore to tell the truth.
Yeah, that's right. And we have to remember that even if everything that Bragg and Colangelo alleges is true, which it's not, but let's just play along. There is no crime here. It is not a crime for a businessman to settle a nuisance claim and put it in his private books as a legal expense. I don't know what you would call it other than a legal expense. It's also not a crime for a presidential candidate to try to, quote, scheme to affect the election. If that were a crime, every candidate in America would be criminals. This is a rigged, partisan, corrupt process by a judge who's conflicted because his daughter's raising millions of dollars off this case, a prosecutor, Bragg, Soros-funded DA who campaigned on getting Trump, Matthew Colangelo, deployed from the Biden Justice Department to bring this political case. And at the end of this case, there's no evidence.
But, Mike, I'll go to you, Sean. Apparently, they are now identifying what that underlying crime is that gave life to expired misdemeanors. And they're saying that the president unlawfully influenced an election by suppressing stories. Now, before I'm going to get to this question. Every campaign is basically a conspiracy to win an election. You try to get good stories in, you try to get your friends, to publish bad stories about your opponent. You ran for office, I ran for office. Talk to me.
Your comms team is calling the press nonstop, pushing stories and trying to kill bad stories. That's what campaigns actually do. And by the way, Hillary Clinton in the dossier, she was trying to push a bad, negative, false, fake story against Donald Trump. She, too, should be prosecuted. Trey Gowdy made the great point today in the emails coming from court, basically saying, I didn't realize it was, this hush money scheme that went on. I thought it was that she didn't go to Wisconsin, and the fact that she had a private server with classified information on it,
right,
which was why the American people didn't trust her. Can I make one other point, too?
Sure.
I thought in the closing argument, and you and I both know this, we all know this, you're not supposed to talk about the sentencing. And when Trump's team talked about you don't send a man to prison off of Cohen's testimony, that was brilliant. This is an alley cat type fight. You're brass knuckles. They're pushing the envelope, somewhat breaking the rules. But with this kind of judge, you can't take that out of the mind of the jury. And do you want to send a man to prison with Michael Cohen's testimony, proof beyond a reasonable doubt, a man who's lied to the jury, lied to Congress, lied to America?
Yeah, but obviously that is something, as a former judge myself, and Michael, you know that the judge has got to instruct the jury that sentencing is up to him or to her. But just so you know, apparently court is going to keep going until 8 p.m. tonight. We don't know what's happening after that. I can't imagine the judge told these people to bring their toothbrush. They should have been sequestered last Tuesday night. That's what I would have done with my juries. But in any event, the prosecution is saying that Donald Trump directed the business records to be written in a way where they could cover up what was going on. But not one person talked about Donald Trump even Michael Cohen getting involved in the bookkeeping. Even Michael Cohen didn't. So now they're making up his story as they go along, and they are not giving Donald Trump the right to defend himself based upon objections that were made during the course of the defense's argument.
Yeah, when CNN's Jake Tapper is even admitting that the prosecution has failed to prove its case beyond a reasonable doubt, you know it's a bad day for the prosecution if this were a fair trial in a fair court.
Well, and you know, Sean, you and I both know that this is a judge in the event, and let's just remind our viewers of what the options are here of a verdict. What are the options?
Well, you have an acquittal on some of the charges and convictions on the others. You have a hung jury, or you have a conviction. And by the way, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. The judge tried to give it to Donald Trump by sending the jury home for a week and talking to the liberal friends and neighbors.
That was something that we all agree is over the top.
No, but it's not. But I think you want your jurors to fight for you, and you don't want them to think about their vacation and their barbecues. Bringing them back on Tuesday, you're going to have those jurors focused to fight for truth and justice.
You think?
I do.
Let's hope so.
I do.
Let's hope so. And, you know, the last question, Michael, if the judge tomorrow charges the jury in a way that you and I have reason to believe is not going to be beneficial to the defense, given the leeway that they're giving the prosecution in their summation, you know, the jury is going to go in. The last thing they will have heard is the judge's instructions. And you and I both know that there were missing witnesses here. Weisselberg is missing. He's the one who made decisions about the checks. And Keith Schiller is a missing witness. The prosecution chose not to call these people. Why not?
It's a very good question. This is a partisan, rigged, corrupt process. I would not be surprised at all if this jury finds President Trump guilty, even though there's no crime and no evidence. And this may have to be resolved by the American people on November 5th, 2024, because it's not going to get resolved on appeal before then.
No, the appeal will not be resolved before the election. Sean and Mike, thanks so much.